I thought I knew my husband until I saw his face in another woman's child at school pickup. Same eyes, same smile, same birthmark on his chin. My perfect marriage was built on lies, and now I'm staring at the proof in my daughter's classroom. Ifeoma adjusted her rearview mirror and smiled at her daughter in the back seat. 8-year-old Adana was bouncing with excitement, her brand new uniform crisp and clean. Today was her first day at Greenwood International Academy, the most expensive private school in Lagos. Ifeoma had worked double shifts at the hospital for 2 years to afford the fees, but seeing her daughter's joy made every sacrifice worth it. "Mummy, will the other children like me?" Adana asked, pressing her nose against the window as they drove through the school's golden gates. The buildings looked like something from a movie: tall glass windows, manicured gardens, and children in spotless uniforms walking with their parents. "Of course they will, my love," Ifeoma said, parking the car. "You're smart, kind, and beautiful. What's not to love?" She checked her watch. Her husband Chaik should have been here for this important moment, but he had another business meeting that couldn't wait. These days, he always had somewhere else to be. As they walked toward the reception area, Ifeoma noticed the other parents. Designer handbags, expensive cars, perfect makeup even at 7 a.m. She smoothed down her simple dress and lifted her chin higher. She belonged here too. Her medical degree and years of hard work had earned them this opportunity. The school coordinator, Mrs. Williams, greeted them with a warm smile. "Welcome to Greenwood, Dr. Ifeoma. Adana will be in Mrs. Peterson's class. Let me show you the way." They walked through corridors filled with children's artwork and motivational posters. Everything was perfect, just like Ifeoma had dreamed. At the classroom door, Mrs. Peterson introduced Adana to her new classmates. Ifeoma watched her daughter's face light up as she met other children. One boy with curly hair and bright eyes immediately started talking to Adana about the toy car in his backpack. He seemed sweet and friendly. "That's Emeka," Mrs. Peterson whispered to Ifeoma. "He's one of our brightest students. I think he and Adana will get along well." Ifeoma nodded, happy that her daughter was already making friends. The boy did look familiar somehow, but she couldn't place where she might have seen him before. As the children settled into their morning activities, the parents were invited to a welcome coffee in the school lounge. Ifeoma hesitated. She had to get to work soon, but decided a few minutes wouldn't hurt. This was Adana's big day after all. The parent lounge buzzed with conversation as mothers and fathers introduced themselves over coffee and pastries. Ifeoma felt out of place among the designer's clothes and confident chatter about family vacations to Dubai and London. She was about to leave when a warm voice called out behind her. "Excuse me, are you Adana's mother?" Ifeoma turned to see a stunning woman with flawless makeup and an expensive-looking dress. Everything about her screamed money and class. "I'm Ngozi, Emeka's mother. I saw our children talking, and they seemed to hit it off immediately." Ifeoma smiled, grateful for the friendly approach. "Yes, I'm Ifeoma." Adana was so nervous about starting here, but Emeka made her feel welcome right away. "He seems like a lovely boy." "Thank you," Ngozi beamed with pride. "He's my world. His father and I work so hard to give him the best of everything." She gestured around the elegant lounge. "This school costs a fortune, but it's worth it for their future, don't you think?" The two women found a quiet corner and continued talking. Despite their different backgrounds, they connected instantly. Ngozi was funny and down-to-earth beneath her polished exterior. She shared stories about Emeka's love for soccer and building blocks, while Ifeoma talked about Adana's dreams of becoming a veterinarian. "My husband travels constantly for business," Ngozi confided. "Sometimes I feel like a single mother. Emeka barely sees his father these days." Something in her voice made Ifeoma look closer. Behind the perfect smile, she saw loneliness and frustration. "I understand completely," Ifeoma replied. "Chaik, that's my husband, he's always working too. He missed this morning because of another important meeting." She shook her head. "Sometimes I wonder if they remember they have families at home." Ngozi's face changed suddenly. The blood drained from her cheeks, and her coffee cup trembled in her hands. "Did you say, Chike?" she whispered, her eyes wide with something that looked like fear. "Yes, why?" Ifeoma felt a chill run down her spine. "Do you know him? Chike Okafor. He works in construction and real estate development." The coffee cup slipped from Ngozi's fingers and shattered on the marble floor. Other parents turned to stare as brown liquid spread across the expensive tiles. But Ngozi didn't seem to notice. She was staring at Ifeoma like she was seeing a ghost. I have to go," Ngozi stammered, grabbing her purse. "I just remembered something important." She rushed toward the door, leaving Ifeoma standing alone in confusion, surrounded by broken porcelain and the curious stares of other parents. Mrs. Williams hurried over with napkins to clean up the mess. "Is everything all right, Dr. Ifeoma?" she asked with concern. Ifeoma stared at the door where Ngozi had disappeared. Her heart was beating fast, though she didn't understand why. Something was very wrong, but she couldn't put her finger on what it was. "I'm not sure," she whispered, still watching the empty doorway. "I'm really not sure." Ifeoma couldn't concentrate at work. All day, she kept thinking about Ngozi's strange reaction. The way her face went pale when she heard Chike's name. The way she dropped her expensive coffee cup and ran away like she had seen a monster. It made no sense, and the confusion was eating at her inside. During her lunch break, Ifeoma called Chike. His phone went straight to voicemail as usual. "Hi honey, just checking in. How was your meeting this morning? Call me back when you get this." She hung up feeling frustrated. When was the last time they had a real conversation? When was the last time he asked about her day or seemed interested in their life together? That evening, Ifeoma picked up Adana from after-school care. Her daughter was glowing with excitement about her new friend Emeka. "Mummy, he's so funny. He knows all the words to the Spider-Man song, and he has the same favorite color as me, purple. Can he come to our house to play sometime?" "We'll see, sweetheart," Ifeoma said, but her mind was elsewhere. She kept thinking about Emeka's face, trying to remember where she had seen those features before. Something about his smile seemed familiar, like looking at a photo she had seen many times but couldn't quite place. At home, Chike was already there, which was unusual. He was sitting on the sofa with his laptop, typing furiously. He barely looked up when they walked in. "How was school, princess?" he asked Adana, but his eyes stayed on his screen. "Daddy, I made a new friend. His name is Emeka and he's really nice and he lives in a big house with a swimming pool." Adana climbed onto the sofa next to her father, trying to get his attention. Something changed in Chike's face. His fingers stopped moving on the keyboard, and he looked at his daughter with sharp eyes. "Emeka? What's his last name?" "I don't know," Adana shrugged. "But his mummy is really pretty and nice. She was talking to Mummy this morning." Chike's jaw tightened. He looked at Ifeoma with an expression she had never seen before, part anger, part fear, part something else she couldn't identify. "What did this woman look like?" he asked, his voice too casual. Ifeoma felt a cold feeling in her stomach. "Why are you asking? Her name is Ngozi. She seemed lovely, though she acted strange when I mentioned your name. Do you know her?" The silence that followed felt like forever. Chike closed his laptop slowly and stood up. "I need to make some calls," he said, walking toward their bedroom. "Work stuff." But Ifeoma had been married to him for 10 years. She knew when he was lying. The way he avoided her eyes, the tension in his shoulders, the speed at which he left the room. Everything screamed guilt and secrets. After putting Adana to bed, Ifeoma sat alone in their living room, staring at family photos on the wall. Pictures of their wedding day, Adana's first steps, family vacations that seemed happy and perfect. When had Chike started pulling away? When had he become a stranger living in her house? She picked up her phone and almost called her sister Amaka, but stopped. What would she say? That her husband acted weird when she mentioned another parent from school? That a woman ran away when she heard his name? It sounded crazy even in her own head. From the bedroom, she could hear Chike's voice, low and urgent. He was talking to someone, but she couldn't make out the words. She crept closer to the door and pressed her ear against it. Told you this was a bad idea. Too risky. She can't find out. The words sent ice through her veins. Who was he talking to? What couldn't she find out? Ifeoma backed away from the door, her heart pounding. Whatever was happening, whatever secret Chike was hiding, it was big enough to make him panic. And somehow it was connected to Ngozi and her son Emeka. For the first time in her marriage, Ifeoma felt truly afraid of what she might discover about the man she thought she knew. The next morning, Chike left early without saying goodbye. This was becoming his new normal, but today it felt different. He moved around the house like he was being hunted, checking his phone constantly and avoiding eye contact with Ifeoma. When Adana asked him to drive her to school, he claimed he had an emergency meeting. At school drop-off, Ifeoma looked everywhere for Ngozi, but she was nowhere to be seen. A nanny brought Emeka to class instead. Ifeoma felt disappointed. She needed to understand what had happened yesterday, why the mention of her husband's name had caused such a dramatic reaction. "Excuse me," she approached Mrs. Peterson. "Is Emeka's mother all right? She seemed upset yesterday." Mrs. Peterson smiled politely. "Mrs. Ngozi is fine, thank you for asking. She had some urgent business to attend to, but she'll be back soon." The teacher's answer felt rehearsed, like she had been told what to say. During her lunch break at the hospital, Ifeoma couldn't focus on her patients. Dr. Sarah, her closest colleague, noticed her distraction. "Girl, you look like you've seen a ghost. What's wrong?" Ifeoma pulled Sarah into an empty room and told her everything. Ngozi's strange reaction, Chike's suspicious behavior, the overheard phone conversation. Sarah listened with growing concern. "Ifeoma, this sounds serious," Sarah said. "Have you noticed any other changes in Chike lately? Different schedule? New expenses? Unexplained absences?" As Sarah asked these questions, pieces started falling into place in Ifeoma's mind. The late nights that became normal. The business trips that seemed to happen more often. The new clothes he claimed were gifts from clients. The way he guarded his phone like it contained state secrets. "There have been changes," Ifeoma admitted. "I thought he was just working harder, trying to provide for us. But now..." She felt tears building in her eyes. "Sarah, what if he's having an affair?" "Don't jump to conclusions yet," Sarah said gently. "But you need to find out the truth. For your sake and Adana's sake." That afternoon, Ifeoma decided to do something she had never done before. She would follow Chike. She told the hospital she was feeling sick and left early. At home, she waited in her car down the street, watching their house. At 4:30 p.m., Chike came home, changed his clothes, and left again in his silver BMW. Ifeoma followed at a safe distance, her hands shaking on the steering wheel. She felt like a criminal, spying on her own husband, but she needed answers. Chike drove through Lagos traffic for 30 minutes before turning into an upscale neighborhood called Victoria Island. The houses here were massive, with high gates and security guards. He stopped at a particular house with a circular driveway and beautiful gardens. Ifeoma parked across the street behind another car, watching as Chike got out of his BMW. He didn't knock on the door, he used his own key. He walked into that house like he belonged there, like he lived there. Her heart was beating so hard she thought it might explode. Whose house was this? Why did her husband have a key? She sat in her car for 2 hours, waiting and watching, but Chike didn't come back out. As darkness fell, lights came on in the house. Through the large windows, Ifeoma could see figures moving around inside. A woman with long hair was cooking in the kitchen. A small boy was playing with toys in the living room. And there was Chike sitting at a dining table like he was the man of the house. The woman turned toward the window, and Ifeoma gasped so loud that a passing jogger looked at her car with concern. The woman in the kitchen was Ngozi. Beautiful, elegant Ngozi from the school. And the little boy playing with toys was Emeka, her daughter's new friend. Ifeoma gripped the steering wheel until her knuckles turned white. Her husband was having dinner with another family. Her husband had a key to another woman's house. Her husband was living a double life, and she was just discovering the truth. Through her tears, she watched Chaik lean over to kiss Ngozi on the forehead. She watched him ruffle Emeka's hair with the same gentle touch he used with Adana. She watched him move through that house with the comfort of someone who belonged there completely. The man she married, the father of her child, the person she had trusted with her heart and her future, was a stranger. And tomorrow, she would have to face Ngozi again, knowing that they were both loving the same man. Ifeoma didn't sleep that night. She lay in bed next to Chaik, watching him breathe peacefully while her world crumbled around her. How could he sleep so calmly when he was destroying two families? When he came home at midnight, he kissed her forehead and whispered, "Sorry I'm late, baby," like he hadn't just spent the evening playing house with another woman and child. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the image of Chaik in that other house, comfortable and relaxed, like he belonged there more than he belonged in their home. She thought about all the lies he must have told, all the excuses he must have made. How many times had he told Ngozi the same lies he told her? At 6 a.m., Chaik's alarm went off. He got up and showered like it was any normal day. "I have to travel to Abuja today," he said, adjusting his tie. "Won't be back until Friday." Ifeoma sat up in bed, rage building in her chest. "Another business trip?" she asked, her voice dangerously calm. "Yes, the Ibrahim project needs my attention. You know how it is." He leaned down to kiss her goodbye, but she turned her face away. Chaik paused, studying her expression. "Are you all right, Ife?" "I'm fine," she lied, just like he had been lying to her for months, maybe years. "Have a safe trip." After he left, Ifeoma called in sick to work again. She needed to talk to Ngozi face to face. She needed to understand how long this had been going on and what kind of woman would knowingly destroy another woman's marriage. At school drop-off, Ifeoma's hands were shaking as she walked Adana to class. She had barely slept, barely eaten, and felt like she might throw up at any moment. But she had to be strong for her daughter, had to pretend everything was normal. "Mummy, you look sad," Adana said, holding her hand tightly. "Are you sick?" "Just tired, my love. Mummy didn't sleep well." Ifeoma forced a smile and kissed her daughter's forehead. "Have fun at school today, okay?" As Adana joined her classmates, Ifeoma saw Ngozi walking toward the classroom. Today, the other woman looked different, nervous, guilty, like she was carrying a heavy secret. Their eyes met across the hallway, and Ngozi froze. "We need to talk," Ifeoma said, walking straight to her. Other parents looked curious about the tension between them, but Ifeoma didn't care anymore. "Now," Ngozi nodded, her face pale. "There's a coffee shop down the street. We can talk there." They walked in silence, both women lost in their own thoughts. Ifeoma felt like she was walking to her own execution, about to hear truths that would change her life forever. Ngozi walked like a woman preparing for battle, knowing she was about to face the consequences of her choices. The coffee shop was quiet, with only a few customers reading newspapers and working on laptops. They chose a corner table away from other people. For a long moment, they just stared at each other. "How long?" Ifeoma asked finally, her voice barely above a whisper. Ngozi closed her eyes and took a deep breath. 3 years. The words hit Ifeoma like a physical blow. 3 years. Emeka was 8 years old, the same age as Adana, which meant Emeka is his son. It wasn't a question. Ngozi nodded, tears starting to fall down her cheeks. "Yes. And you knew about me, about Adana. You knew he was married." "Yes," Ngozi whispered. "I knew." Rage exploded in Ifeoma's chest. This woman had known about her family and chosen to destroy it anyway. She had smiled at her in the school lounge, pretended to be friendly, all while carrying on with her husband. "How could you?" Ifeoma's voice was getting louder. "How could you do this to another woman, to a child?" "You don't understand," Ngozi said desperately. "It's not what you think. Chaik told me." He said, "What? What did he tell you?" Ifeoma leaned forward, her eyes blazing with anger. Ngozi wiped her tears and looked directly at Ifeoma. He told me you were divorced. He said you had been separated for 2 years and were only staying in the same house until Adana finished the school year. He said you both agreed it was better for her to have stability. The words hit Ifeoma like ice water. She sat back in her chair, speechless. Chike had told Ngozi they were divorced? That their marriage was over? He showed me divorce papers, Ngozi continued. Official documents with both your signatures. He said you were just friends now, co-parenting for Adana's sake. Those papers. Ifeoma's mind was racing. He had divorce papers drawn up without telling me? You mean? Ngozi's face went white. You mean you're not divorced? You're still married to him? The two women stared at each other in horror, both realizing they had been played by the same man. Chike hadn't just been having an affair. He had created an elaborate lie that destroyed both their lives. Oh my God, Ngozi whispered, covering her face with her hands. Oh my God, what have I done? I'm so sorry, Ifeoma. I never would have. If I had known you were still married. Ifeoma felt her anger toward Ngozi melting away, replaced by a deeper fury toward Chike. This woman wasn't her enemy. They were both victims of the same cruel deception. Show me the papers, she said quietly. Ngozi pulled out her phone and scrolled through her photos. She found what she was looking for and handed the phone to Ifeoma. There, on the screen, was a document that looked completely. These are fake, Ifeoma said, her voice shaking. I never signed anything like this. I never even knew they existed. But they look so real, Ngozi said, staring at the phone. The letterhead, the court stamps, everything. Chike works in construction. He knows people who can make fake documents. He probably paid someone to create these just to convince you. Ifeoma handed back the phone, feeling sick to her stomach. The level of planning and deception required for this elaborate lie was staggering. 3 years, Ngozi said, her voice hollow. For 3 years, I thought I was in a relationship with a divorced man. I thought we were building a future together. I thought. She started crying again. I thought he loved me. What did he tell you about his schedule? About where he went when he wasn't with you? He said he traveled for work constantly. Big construction projects all over Nigeria that required him to be away for days at a time. He said that's why he couldn't live with me full-time yet, because his business required so much travel. Ifeoma laughed bitterly. He told me the same thing. That's where he said he was going this morning. Abuja for the Ibrahim project. There is no Ibrahim project, Ngozi said quietly. Yesterday, when you mentioned his name at school, I panicked. I called him and told him I had met his ex-wife. He went crazy, screaming at me about how I could be so careless. He said you were dangerous and unstable, that you might try to hurt me or Emeka if you found out about us. He said I was dangerous? Ifeoma couldn't believe what she was hearing. He made me promise to avoid you, to have my nanny handle all school activities from now on. He said it was for everyone's safety. Ngozi looked ashamed. I was scared, so I agreed. Meanwhile, he came home and acted completely normal with me. Kissed me goodnight, made love to me, promised to call from his business trip. Ifeoma felt tears of rage burning her eyes. How can someone be so evil? They sat in silence for several minutes, both women processing the magnitude of Chike's betrayal. Finally, Ngozi spoke again. Ifeoma, there's something else you need to know. Her voice was so quiet that Ifeoma had to lean forward to hear her. About our children. What about them? Look at this photo. Ngozi showed her another picture on her phone. Emeka at his last birthday party, blowing out candles on a cake. Ifeoma gasped. In the photo, Emeka was smiling directly at the camera, and it was like looking at a male version of Adana. The same eyes, the same nose, the same dimple in the left cheek. But more than that, he had Chike's distinctive birthmark on his chin, the same one Adana had inherited. They look like siblings, Ifeoma whispered. Because they are siblings, Ngozi said. Half-siblings, but still. They share the same father. The reality hit Ifeoma like a truck. Her daughter and this woman's son were brother and sister. They were playing together at school, becoming best friends, with no idea they shared the same blood. "What are we going to do?" Ngozi asked, her voice breaking. "How do we handle this? How do we protect our children from the truth about their father?" Ifeoma looked at this woman who had unknowingly helped destroy her marriage and felt an unexpected surge of solidarity. They were both mothers. They were both victims. And now they had to figure out how to clean up the mess that Chaik had made of all their lives. "First," Ifeoma said, her voice getting stronger, "we're going to make sure he can never lie to either of us again. And then we're going to figure out what's best for Adana and Emeka." "Together?" Ngozi asked hopefully. "Together," Ifeoma confirmed. "Because right now we're the only allies each other has." Over the next 2 days, Ifeoma and Ngozi met secretly while their children were at school. They compared stories, shared evidence, and slowly pieced together the full extent of Chaik's deception. What they discovered was worse than either of them had imagined. "He gave us both the same engagement ring," Ngozi said, showing Ifeoma a photo on her phone. It was identical to the ring on Ifeoma's finger, same design, same diamond, probably bought from the same jeweler. "He told me it was custom-made just for me," Ifeoma said, staring at her ring with disgust. "He said no other woman in the world had one like it." "Same lie he told me," Ngozi replied bitterly. "I have receipts showing he bought mine 2.5 years ago. When did he give you yours?" 3 years ago, when he proposed." Ifeoma felt sick, which means he was shopping for engagement rings for both of us at the same time. They were sitting in Ngozi's living room, the same house where Ifeoma had watched her husband play family with another woman. Being inside felt surreal, like entering an alternate version of her own life. The furniture was more expensive, the decorations more elegant, but the family photos on the mantel told the same story as the ones in her own home. Happy moments, loving embraces, a father who seemed devoted to his child. "Look at this," Ngozi said, pulling out a folder thick with documents. "I started going through all his paperwork after our talk yesterday. Business contracts, bank statements, property deeds, everything." Ifeoma examined the papers with growing horror. There were lease agreements showing Chaik had been renting this house for 4 years, not 3. There were medical records showing he had listed Ngozi as his emergency contact and wife at several hospitals. There were school enrollment forms where he had signed as Emeka's father and guardian. "He's been planning this double life for years," Ifeoma whispered. "This wasn't some affair that got out of hand. This was deliberate, systematic deception." "There's more," Ngozi said, her voice shaking. "Look at these bank statements." The financial records painted a picture that made both women furious. Chaik had been systematically stealing from both households to fund his elaborate lie. Money that Ifeoma thought was going toward Adana's school fees had been split between both children's education. Funds she believed were for their family savings had been used to pay rent on this house. "He's been making us both pay for his deception," Ifeoma said, calculating numbers in her head. "I've been working double shifts to afford Adana's school fees, while he was using some of that money to pay for Emeka's education too. And I've been giving him money for his business investments," Ngozi added. "Thousands of dollars that I thought were helping build our future together." But the worst discovery was yet to come. At the bottom of the folder, Ngozi pulled out a legal document that made both women gasp. "He's been trying to get full custody of Emeka," Ngozi said, her hands trembling as she held the papers. "These are preliminary custody filings. He was planning to take my son away from me." Ifeoma read over the document with growing rage. According to the filing, Chaik claimed that Ngozi was an unfit mother with drug problems and mental health issues. He painted himself as a concerned father trying to protect his child from a dangerous woman. "These are all lies," Ifeoma said. "You're one of the most stable, loving mothers I've ever met. But look at the date." Ngozi pointed to the top of the document. "He filed this last month, right around the time he started acting strange. I think he was planning to disappear with Emeka and start fresh somewhere else. Probably with some third woman we don't even know about yet." Ifeoma said grimly. The thought made her stomach turn. How many other families might Chike be deceiving right now? Ngozi's phone buzzed with a text message. She looked at the screen and her face went pale. It's him. He's coming over tonight. He says he has something important to discuss with me. Don't meet him alone, Ifeoma said immediately. We don't know what he's capable of. If he was planning to take Emeka away from you, he might try something desperate now that his secret is out. But how does he know his secret is out? Ngozi asked. We haven't confronted him yet. Ifeoma thought for a moment. Maybe he doesn't know for sure, but he suspects something. You did run away from me at school when you heard his name. He probably knows you're scared and might start asking questions. So what do? We set a trap, Ifeoma said, her voice getting stronger. We make him think everything is normal while we gather more evidence. And when we have enough proof to destroy him completely, we strike. Ngozi nodded, but fear was written all over her face. Ifeoma, what if he gets violent? What if he tries to hurt us or take the children? Then we'll be ready for him, Ifeoma replied. But first, we need to secure our evidence and make sure our children are safe. They spent the rest of the afternoon copying documents, taking photos, and preparing for what felt like a war. Both women knew that when they finally confronted Chike, there would be no going back. Their lives, their children's lives, everything would change forever. As evening approached, Ngozi walked Ifeoma to the door. Thank you, she said quietly, for not hating me, for understanding that I was deceived too. We're in this together now, Ifeoma replied. Sisters in survival. But as Ifeoma drove home, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something important. Chike was too smart, too calculating to have left his deception so easy to uncover. What else was he hiding? And how far would he go to protect his secrets? When Ifeoma got home, she found Chike sitting at their kitchen table with a serious expression on his face. Her heart jumped. Had he somehow found out about her investigation? But then she remembered he was supposed to be in Abuja on a business trip. You're back early, she said, trying to keep her voice casual. The meeting was cancelled, he replied, studying her face carefully. Ife, we need to talk. She sat down across from him, her hands folded to hide their shaking. About what? About Adana's new friend at school. Chike's voice was calm, but his eyes were hard. I've been thinking about what she said the other day, about this boy Emeka. What about him? I think it would be better if she didn't spend too much time with him. Chike reached across the table and took her hand. I've heard some concerning things about his family situation. Ifeoma felt her anger rising, but forced herself to stay calm. What kind of concerning things? His mother has some problems. Mental health issues, drug use, that kind of thing. I just don't want Adana exposed to that kind of environment. Chike's voice was full of fake concern. You know how impressionable children are at this age. The audacity of his lies took Ifeoma's breath away. He was sitting in their kitchen, holding her hand, and spreading vicious rumors about the woman he had been living with for 3 years. The woman who was the mother of his child. How do you know all this? She asked. Word gets around. You know how these private school parents talk. Chike squeezed her hand. I just want to protect our daughter, that's all. Our daughter seems to really like Emeka. They've become good friends. Friendship is one thing, but I don't want it going beyond that. No playdates, no birthday parties. Nothing that would put her in that woman's house. Chike's grip on her hand tightened. Promise me, Ife. She looked into his eyes and saw something that chilled her to the bone. This wasn't just about protecting his secret anymore. There was real malice there. A willingness to destroy Ngozi's reputation to keep his lies intact. I promise, she lied, just as he had been lying to her for years. Good. Chike smiled and kissed her forehead. I knew you'd understand. You're such a good mother, always putting Adana's safety first. After he went to shower, Ifeoma immediately called Ngozi to warn her about what Chike was planning. But Ngozi's phone went straight to voicemail. Panic started building in Ifeoma's chest. Ngozi had said Chike was coming to see her tonight. What if he was there right now, manipulating her just like he had tried to manipulate Ifeoma? She paced around her living room, torn between staying home to maintain her cover and rushing to Ngozi's house to make sure she was safe. Finally, she made a decision. She told Chike she was going to the pharmacy for some medicine and drove as fast as she could to Victoria Island. When she arrived at Ngozi's house, she could see lights on inside and shadows moving around. She crept closer to the window and peered inside, her heart pounding. Chike was there, standing in the living room with his back to the window. He was talking animatedly, gesturing with his hands like he was making an important point. But Ifeoma couldn't see Ngozi anywhere. She moved to another window and finally spotted her. Ngozi was sitting on the sofa, but something was wrong. Her posture was stiff, unnatural. Her face was pale, and she kept glancing toward the hallway where Emeka's bedroom was located. Chike moved closer to Ngozi, and Ifeoma could see his lips moving rapidly. He was talking fast, urgently, like he was trying to convince her of something important. Then he did something that made Ifeoma's blood run cold. He pulled out his phone and showed Ngozi something on the screen. Whatever it was made Ngozi cover her mouth with her hands and start crying. Chike sat down next to her and put his arm around her shoulders, but his body language wasn't comforting. It was possessive, controlling. Ifeoma realized she was watching a master manipulator at work. Chike was doing to Ngozi exactly what he had just tried to do to her, planting seeds of doubt, spreading lies, making her question everything she thought she knew. But what was on that phone that had made Ngozi so upset? What new lie was Chike using to control the situation? As Ifeoma watched, Chike stood up and walked toward the hallway, toward Emeka's room. Ngozi jumped up and followed him, clearly agitated. They disappeared from view, leaving Ifeoma staring at an empty living room. She had to get inside that house. She had to know what Chike was telling Ngozi, what new manipulation he was using. But most importantly, she had to make sure that both Ngozi and Emeka were safe. Because the man she had married, the father of her child, was revealing himself to be someone far more dangerous than she had ever imagined. Ifeoma couldn't just stand outside watching anymore. She needed to know what was happening to Ngozi and Emeka. She tried calling Ngozi's phone again, but it still went to voicemail. Fear was eating at her stomach like acid. She walked around to the back of the house, looking for another way to see inside. Through the kitchen window, she could hear raised voices. Chike was shouting, which was something she had never seen him do before. His voice was angry, threatening, completely different from the calm, loving husband she thought she knew. "You will not destroy everything I've built," she heard him yell. "Do you understand me? Everything I've worked for, everything I've planned. You will not ruin it." Ngozi's voice was much quieter, but Ifeoma could hear the fear in it. "Please, Chike, just calm down. Let's talk about this reasonably." "Reasonable?" Chike's laugh was cold and bitter. "You want reasonable? I'll show you reasonable." Ifeoma heard footsteps moving quickly through the house, then a door slamming. Her heart was racing. She had to do something. But what? If she knocked on the door, Chike would know she had been spying. But if she didn't act, something terrible might happen to Ngozi and Emeka. She decided to risk it. She walked to the front door and knocked loudly. The house went completely silent. After a long moment, she heard footsteps approaching the door. It was Ngozi who answered, but she looked terrible. Her makeup was smeared from crying. Her hands were shaking, and there was a red mark on her left wrist that looked like it might be from someone grabbing her too hard. "Ifeoma," Ngozi whispered, her eyes wide with panic. "You can't be here. You have to leave right now. Are you all right? Is Emeka safe?" Ifeoma tried to look past Ngozi into the house. "Everything is fine," Ngozi said, but her voice was robotic, like she was reciting words someone had told her to say. "We're just having a family discussion. Please go home." "Ngozi, look at me," Ifeoma said firmly. "Are you in danger? Do you need help?" Before Ngozi could answer, Chike appeared behind her. His face was calm again, but his eyes were cold as ice. "Hello, darling," he said to Ifeoma. as if finding his wife at his mistress's house was the most normal thing in the world. "What are you doing here?" I came to talk to Ngozi about the children," Ifeoma stammered, trying to think quickly. "About their friendship at school." "How thoughtful of you," Chike said, but there was danger in his voice. "Come in. Let's all discuss this together." Ifeoma knew it was a trap, but she couldn't leave Ngozi alone with him. She stepped into the house, and Chike immediately closed the door behind her and turned the lock. "Sit down," he said, pointing to the sofa. It wasn't a request. Both women sat down, while Chike stood in front of them like a prosecutor addressing criminals. "So," he said, his voice eerily calm, "how long have you two been comparing notes?" Ngozi looked at Ifeoma with terror in her eyes. Neither woman answered. "Let me guess," Chike continued. "Ngozi panicked when she heard my name at school and called me in a frenzy. That made you suspicious, Ifeoma, so you started digging. You probably followed me here, saw us together, and put the pieces together." His accurate summary made both women realize how predictable they had been. Chike had been several steps ahead of them the entire time. "Then you two had your little coffee date and shared your sob stories," he went on. "Poor Ngozi, deceived by fake divorce papers. Poor Ifeoma, betrayed by her lying husband. Two victims united against the evil man who wronged them." "You are evil," Ifeoma said, finding her voice. "What you've done to us, to our children, is monstrous." Chike's mask of calm finally slipped. His face twisted with rage, and he took a step toward her. "Evil? I gave both of you everything. Beautiful homes, financial security, children who will never want for anything. I worked 18-hour days to maintain 2 households and keep everyone happy. By lying to everyone," Ngozi shouted, standing up from the sofa. "By stealing from both of us. By planning to take my son away from me." "Our son," Chike corrected coldly. "And yes, I was planning to take him. Because you're weak, Ngozi. You're emotional and unstable. And you would have ruined everything eventually." "And what about Adana?" Ifeoma asked, also standing. "What was your plan for her?" "Adana would have been fine. You're a good mother, Ifeoma, when you're not being paranoid and jealous. I would have made sure she was taken care of." The casual way he talked about destroying their families, about taking their children, made both women realize they were dealing with someone completely without conscience. "You're insane," Ifeoma whispered.
"I'm practical," Chike replied.
"I saw 2 beautiful women who could give me what I wanted. I created a system that worked for everyone. If you two hadn't been so nosy, we could have continued happily for years." "Happily?" Ngozi's voice. Suddenly, a small voice called out from the hallway. "Mummy? What's all the shouting about?" Everyone turned to see Emeka standing in his pajamas, rubbing his eyes sleepily. He looked confused and scared by all the adult voices in his house. Chike's entire demeanor changed when he saw his son. His face softened, and he walked over to kneel down in front of the boy. "Hey, buddy, did we wake you up? Are you fighting with Mummy?" Emeka asked, looking between his parents with worried eyes.
"No, son.
We're just having an adult conversation." Chike picked up Emeka and held him close. "Everything is fine." But Ifeoma could see that everything was not fine. The way Chike held his son, the possessive grip, the way he looked at Ngozi over Emeka's head. It was clear he was planning something desperate. And in that moment, watching her husband hold another woman's child with the same tenderness he showed Adana, Ifeoma realized that this situation was about to become much more dangerous than she had ever imagined. "Emeka, honey, you need to go back to bed?" Ngozi said, trying to keep her voice calm for her son's sake. But Ifeoma could hear the tremor underneath. "Can Daddy read me a story first?" Emeka asked, snuggling closer to Chike. "Not tonight, buddy," Chike said. But he didn't put the boy down. Instead, he walked toward the hallway, still carrying Emeka. "Daddy has some important business to finish with Mummy and her friend." The way he said friend made Ifeoma's skin crawl. She and Ngozi exchanged terrified glances. Chike was using his own child as a shield, and they both knew it. "Actually," Ifeoma said, standing up. I should go home. It's getting late, and Adana will be wondering where I am. Sit down, Chike said sharply, his voice cutting through the room like a knife. Emeka looked up at his father with surprise. He had never heard that tone before. Daddy, you're scaring me, the little boy whispered. Chike immediately softened his voice again.
Sorry, son.
Daddy didn't mean to sound angry. He kissed Emeka's forehead. Why don't you go get your favorite book, and I'll read to you in a few minutes? Emeka nodded and ran back toward his bedroom. The moment he was out of sight, Chike's expression turned cold again. Here's what's going to happen, he said, walking back toward the two women. You're both going to forget everything you think you've discovered. You're going to go back to your normal lives and pretend this conversation never happened. Are you crazy? Ifeoma asked. Do you think we're just going to pretend you haven't been living a double life for years? Yes, Chike said simply, because if you don't, you'll lose everything. He pulled out his phone and showed them both the screen. It was a video of Ngozi in what looked like a hotel room, but she wasn't alone. She was with a man who wasn't Chike, and they were in a very compromising position. Ngozi gasped and covered her mouth. How did you get that? That was from before I met you. From years ago when I was going through my divorce. Doesn't matter when it was from, Chike said coldly. What matters is how it will look to a family court judge when I use it to prove you're an unfit mother. You bastard, Ngozi whispered, tears streaming down her face. And Ifeoma, Chike continued, swiping to another video on his phone. Here's footage of you following me yesterday evening, stalking me like some obsessed ex-girlfriend. Imagine how that will play in court when I file for full custody of Adana due to your unstable, paranoid behavior. Ifeoma felt the blood drain from her face. He had known she was following him. He had probably planned for her to see him with Ngozi and the children. This had all been part of some sick game to him. You've been recording us, she said, the pieces falling into place. You've been documenting everything, building cases against both of us in case we ever found out the truth. Insurance policies, Chike confirmed. I'm a businessman, ladies. I always have backup plans. We'll tell people the truth about you, Ngozi said desperately. We'll expose your lies. Who's going to believe you? Chike asked with a cruel smile. Two emotional, unstable women making wild accusations against a successful businessman? Please. Especially when I have evidence of both your questionable behavior. The trap was perfect, and they all knew it. Chike had spent years preparing for this moment, gathering ammunition he could use against them if his secret was ever discovered. Besides, he continued, think about your children. Do you really want to put Adana and Emeka through the trauma of a public scandal? Do you want them to know their father is a monster, as you so eloquently put it? Do you want to destroy their sense of security and happiness? It was emotional blackmail, and it was working. Both women were thinking about their children, about how this revelation would devastate their innocent lives. What do you want from us? Ifeoma asked quietly. I want things to go back to the way they were, Chike said. I want you, Ifeoma, to go home to our daughter and forget this ever happened. I want you, Ngozi, to understand that our relationship has certain boundaries that can never be crossed. And if we refuse? Ngozi asked. Then you'll both lose your children, and I'll disappear with them to start fresh somewhere else. I have business connections all over West Africa. I can create new identities, new lives, and neither of you will ever see Adana or Emeka again. The threat hung in the air like poison. Both women realized they were trapped in a nightmare with no easy escape. Chike held all the cards, the evidence, the money, the legal connections, and most importantly, access to their children. You can't keep living this double life forever, Ifeoma said, but her voice lacked conviction. Watch me, Chike replied. I've been doing it successfully for years. I can do it for years more. From the hallway, they heard Emeka calling out. Daddy, I found my book. Are you coming to read to me? Chike smiled at the sound of his son's voice, and for a moment, his expression was genuinely loving. Coming, buddy, he called back. Then he looked at both women with ice-cold eyes. Think very carefully about your next moves, ladies, because your children's futures depend on the choices you make tonight. As he walked toward Emeka's bedroom, Ifeoma and Ngozi sat in stunned silence, both realizing that their fight for justice had just become a fight for survival. After Chike finished reading to Emeka and left the house, Ifeoma and Ngozi sat in the living room in complete silence. Both women were processing the nightmare their lives had become. The sound of Chike's car driving away felt like a death sentence. He was going home to sleep peacefully next to Ifeoma, while they were left to deal with the wreckage of his threats. "We can't let him win," Ngozi finally whispered, but her voice was broken. "He has videos of us, evidence, legal connections, money." Ifeoma's voice was hollow. "How do we fight someone who is planned for everything?" "I don't know," Ngozi admitted, "but I know I can't keep living this lie, and I can't let him take Emeka away from me." Ifeoma looked at her new ally, this woman who had unknowingly helped destroy her marriage, but was now the only person who truly understood what she was going through. "What if we're thinking about this wrong?" she said slowly. "What do you mean?" "Chike is smart, but he's also arrogant. He thinks he's untouchable because he's always been able to manipulate and control people." Ifeoma stood up and started pacing. "But he made one big mistake." "What mistake?" "He kept evidence of his crimes. All those documents, bank records, fake papers, they're proof of fraud, identity theft, financial manipulation. He's been so focused on gathering dirt on us that he didn't realize he was creating evidence against himself." Ngozi's eyes lit up with the first hope she had felt all evening. "You're right. Those fake divorce papers alone are probably enough to put him in prison. And the financial records show he's been stealing from both of us to fund his double life. That's embezzlement, fraud, maybe even tax evasion." Ifeoma's mind was racing now. "We need to copy everything before he realizes how much evidence he's left lying around." "But what about his threats? The videos he has of us?" "We deal with those too," Ifeoma said firmly. "That video of you was from before you met him. Any decent lawyer can prove it's not relevant to your fitness as a mother now. And the video of me following him? I was investigating my husband's suspicious behavior. Any wife would do the same thing." Ngozi stood up, her strength returning. "So what's the plan?" "First, we gather every piece of evidence we can find. Documents, photos, recordings, everything that proves what he's been doing. Then we take it all to the police and to lawyers who specialize in fraud cases." "What about the children?" "He threatened to take them and disappear." Ifeoma had been thinking about this too. "He won't risk it. Taking children across international borders requires planning, documentation, money transfers, all things that leave trails. If we move fast enough, we can have him arrested before he has time to run. But what if we're wrong? What if he really does try to take them? Then we make sure he can't." Ifeoma pulled out her phone. "I have a friend who works for immigration services. We can flag his passport, make it impossible for him to leave the country with the children. We can also alert the schools, make sure they don't release Adana or Emeka to anyone without our written permission." For the first time since this nightmare began, Ngozi smiled. "You're brilliant." He thinks he's the only one who can plan ahead, but he's about to learn that two desperate mothers are more dangerous than one arrogant man. They spent the next 3 hours going through every document in Ngozi's house, photographing evidence, copying files, and building their case against Chike. The more they discovered, the more confident they became. He had been sloppy in his arrogance, leaving a paper trail that would destroy him. "Look at this," Ngozi said, holding up a bank statement. "He's been transferring money between accounts in different names. Some of these accounts are in his name, some are in fake names, some are in companies that don't exist. This is money laundering. And this," Ifeoma added, showing her a contract. "He's been billing clients for work that was never done, then pocketing the money. His construction business is just a front for stealing from people." By dawn, they had compiled enough evidence to put Chike away for decades. Fraud, embezzlement, bigamy, identity theft, money laundering. The list of crimes was staggering. "Are you ready for this?" Ifeoma asked as they prepared to leave for the police station. Once we file these charges, there's no going back. Our lives will never be the same. Our lives are already destroyed, Ngozi replied. At least this way we get justice. And our children get to grow up knowing their mothers fought for them. As they drove toward the police station with boxes of evidence in the car, both women felt something they hadn't experienced in days. Hope. They had been victims, but they were about to become survivors. Behind them, the sun was rising over Lagos, marking the end of their old lives and the beginning of something new. Whatever happened next, they would face it together. But neither woman noticed the black car that had been following them since they left Ngozi's house. Chike had not gone home to sleep peacefully. He had been watching, waiting, and planning his next move. The war between them was just beginning. At the police station, Detective Inspector Adebayo listened to their story with growing amazement. He was a veteran officer who thought he had seen everything, but the scope of Chike's deception was beyond anything in his experience. "Ladies, what you're describing isn't just adultery or even bigamy," he said, examining their evidence. "This is organized fraud on a massive scale. If these documents are authentic, your husband has committed enough crimes to spend the rest of his life in prison." "They're authentic," Ifeoma assured him. "We can prove every single one." "And you said he threatened to flee the country with your children?" "Yes," Ngozi confirmed. "He has business connections across West Africa. He claimed he could create new identities and disappear with both kids." Detective Adebayo nodded grimly. "We need to move fast then. I'm going to issue an immediate warrant for his arrest and put holds on all his known accounts. We'll also flag his passport and put both children under protective custody orders." As they were giving their statements, Ifeoma's phone rang. It was Chike. "Answer it," Detective Adebayo instructed. "Act normal. Don't let him know you're here." With shaking hands, Ifeoma accepted the call. "Hello. Good morning, my love." Chike's voice was sickeningly sweet. "I wanted to check on you before I head to work. You seemed upset last night when you came home from the pharmacy." "I'm fine," Ifeoma managed to say. "Just tired." "Good. Listen, I think we should take Adana out of that school. I've been thinking more about the situation with that boy and his unstable mother. It's not safe for our daughter." Detective Adebayo was recording the call and signaling for Ifeoma to keep him talking. "Why the sudden urgency?" she asked. "I just want to protect our family," Chike said, but there was something different in his voice. "In fact, I think we should all take a little vacation. Maybe travel to Ghana for a few weeks. Let things settle down." "Ghana?" Ifeoma's heart was racing. He was planning to run, just as they had suspected. "Yes, I have some business opportunities there. We could all go together, you, me, and Adana. Start fresh in a new place." "What about your other family?" The words slipped out before Ifeoma could stop them. The silence that followed felt like an eternity. When Chike spoke again, his voice was ice cold. "What did you say?" Detective Adebayo was frantically signaling his officers. They needed to arrest Chike immediately, before he realized the trap was closing around him. "I said, what about your work here?" Ifeoma lied quickly. "Your business, your clients. Right? My work." But Chike didn't sound convinced. "Ife, where are you right now?" "At home. Getting ready for work." "No, you're not. I drove by the house this morning. Your car isn't there." Ifeoma's blood turned to ice. He had been watching her, tracking her movements. "I had to run an errand dash." "What kind of errand requires you to be out at 7 a.m.? Chike's voice was getting dangerous. "And why is Ngozi not answering her phone?" The line went dead. Detective Adebayo immediately radioed his units. "All cars. Suspect is aware of investigation. Move to arrest immediately. Consider him armed and extremely dangerous." But they were too late. Within minutes, reports started coming in over the radio. Chike had gone to Adana's school and tried to check her out early, claiming a family emergency. When the school refused without Ifeoma's written permission, he had become violent and threatening. Security had called the police, but by the time they arrived, Chike was gone. He had then driven to Emeka's school and attempted the same thing, with the same result. He's desperate, Detective Adebayo said. Desperate men do dangerous things. We need to find him before he does something that can't be undone. Ifeoma was crying now, terrified for her daughter's safety. What if he tries to take her from school by force? What if he hurts someone? Both schools are on lockdown, the detective assured her. No one gets in or out without police approval. Your children are safe. But even as he said it, another report came over the radio. Chike's car had been spotted at Ngozi's house. He was inside, and neighbors reported hearing shouting and the sound of things being thrown around. He's destroying the evidence, Ngozi gasped. He's trying to eliminate everything that could be used against him. Not everything, Detective Adebayo said grimly. We have copies of the most important documents right here, but we need to stop him before he escalates to violence. As police cars raced toward the house in Victoria Island, Ifeoma and Ngozi held hands in the police station, both women praying that their fight for justice wouldn't cost them everything they held dear. Outside, Lagos was waking up to another ordinary day. But for two families, nothing would ever be ordinary again. The perfect lives they had built on lies were crumbling, and in the wreckage, they would either find justice or lose everything. The reckoning had come at last. Comment Part 2.